So, how does this work then? If I want to love and serve God with every single part of my life, does that mean I have to go and work in ministry, like in a church? Or do I have to move to a different country as a missionary to serve the poor and share the gospel? Or can I just serve God the same amount in a non-ministry job? Because it's confusing. Well, I guess we better find out then. Answer me this. If every single Christian worked in a church, then who would be out in the world representing Jesus? Look, it's important to know that it's not like people who work in church are called to be the proper, real Christians with some exclusive connection to God and everyone else is just there to sit and listen to them. No, every Christian is equal as disciples of Jesus with equal access to God. Every Christian has a unique calling and gifts that they can use to carry out our overall calling, which is to partner with God as his sons and daughters in bringing his love, hope and peace to a broken world that needs him. And that's whether you work in a church or not. I know of a church that don't like using the term full-time ministry to refer to paid church team, and that's because they say every Christian is in full-time ministry no matter where you work. Some people are called to do this in a church, but others are called to do it at their work, in their office, or at home, or at school. The Bible describes Christians as different parts of a body, with each part doing a different thing. You are part of this body. You are the only person who can do what God has prepared for you to do in your context. Now, whether that be at school, or work, or in a church, there are some people that only you will be able to reach. So, no, you don't have to work in a church if you want to give your whole life to God. As Christians, God invades every part of our lives, including our work anyway, and we can serve him in whatever we do by sharing Jesus' love with people through both our words and our actions. We can offer to pray for people at work. We can love and support the lonely and the outcasts and the vulnerable. And we can bring God's kingdom into our workplaces. But remember, because of Jesus, the Holy Spirit lives inside of you. And so you carry him and you represent Jesus everywhere you go. But saying that, I wouldn't necessarily rule out church ministry either. It could be that you actually are called to church ministry. So have a think and a pray and ask God to show you. And if you want actually a taster of what that might be like, then maybe ask your church leader or youth leader if you can help out or intern for them for a bit to see if you are called to ministry. And you know, just because you do one doesn't mean you can't do both. I mean, it's not like it has to be one or the other. The church and the vulnerable always need help and support. Now, I've heard some people say before that they don't want to serve in areas of church or with volunteering to help those in need because it's not their passion. And I get that, but it's not about your passion. It's about obeying God's command to support the vulnerable, and it's also about supporting our church family where there's a need. And well, there you have it. Now, just to finish off, this doesn't necessarily mean that we can automatically glorify God in any job we do. Now, what I mean is, as Christians, we shouldn't actually work in a job or a work sector that glorifies, promotes, or enables people to sin. Now, sometimes it's hard to figure out where that line is, so that can be up to your conscience. But yeah, there are definitely certain areas that they actively oppose God's kingdom in his heart for mankind. So just be aware of that. But anyway, remember that you carry God's presence with you wherever you go, wherever you work, whether that's a school, an office, a church, or at home. So, I'll see you next time.